What's up everybody, Adam here with etrailer. Today we'll take a look at the TecNiq Premium Slim LED light strip. So if you have a camper shell like this, or maybe even just a tonneau cover, this is gonna illuminate a lot inside the bed of your truck, so you can go through a couple different totes, get what you need, and be able to actually see. We do have a lot of different types, so we can get the really small ones if you really just need one area to be isolated to get lit up. So this one's gonna be about 7 inches long, but then we can get some longer ones. So we can go with the longer one like this, and there's gonna be 2 different versions of each length. So one is gonna have 2 wires coming off of each side, and then there's another one that just has it on one side. So if you do plan on putting multiple lights in here, you can wire them in a series as long as you have proper power going to them, so you don't have to run a power and ground to every single one. I kind of like that because it's going to be a little bit cleaner wiring underneath. But we are going to get some larger ones as well, so whatever size you think is going to be best for your application, definitely go ahead and grab the one that's going to be best. Right now we have the 47.5 inch long one up on the top, and it's pretty much the perfect length for a camper shell. We do have a 60 inch one, which is just going to be a little bit longer. So just depending on where you're putting it, we have a size for you. So a lot of the times I need something in the bed of my truck. I usually keep it in totes, but I usually just have to take my phone light out, and I really only have one hand to grab whatever I need. I usually just keep a lot of my tools in here, but this is what the phone light does. It's gonna take up a hand and it's not that bright, but with that, even with just one strip, I have pretty much full visibility. Like, even if I had this tote in the very, very back over here and I had to grab it, like, I can still see in there easily. So I think it's a mix between this being kind of white, so it really does reflect a lot, but the difference between just one strip being installed is crazy. So if you put another one on the other side, it's going to light up everything and you will not have an issue finding anything in the bed of your truck. For a storage compartment on an RV, I think one of these would just be totally fine, depending on where you put it. But when you're gonna put it in the bed of your truck, I think maybe 4 of these 7 inch ones will be the most optimal. Just put 2 on the back here and then 2 more up front, and then you'll have light from every single angle. Stepping up to the 11 inch long strip, I would say you only need 2 for the inside of the bed of your truck. For sure. I think just having 2 right back here will be plenty for lighting up the spot. And again, I think these would be a good size for maybe some of the longer storage compartments you may have in your RV or camper. Every different size is going to have a different amount of diodes, and it's going to put out a different amount of lumens. That's just because obviously more diodes means it's going to be a little bit brighter. I really don't think you can go wrong with picking one of these. It's just gonna either be extremely bright or just not bright enough. So definitely grab enough, but too bright isn't really that big of a deal. I really do think that all of these are gonna last a long time. They're made of aluminum, and they do have 50,000 hours of rating. So 50,000 hours of these things on, I think they're never really gonna go out. So just grab what you need, install them, and ideally you won't really have to replace them ever. I love LED strips. You can literally put them anywhere. So not only can you put them in the bed of your truck with a tonneau cover or a camper shell, you would definitely put some of these maybe around your boat, maybe around your storage compartments in your RVs, or even just use them for accent lighting. I really like whenever I go into these RVs that come through and they got all this cool little accent lights where you can't really see the LEDs, but you can see the glow. So I think it would be great for storage compartments, and especially that cool little underglow that you get on the inside of your RVs. So literally whatever kind of idea you have with these, as long as you have proper power ran to it, you can find a lot of different applications to use these LEDs. So I really do think these are gonna give you the cleanest look out of any of them, and these aren't gonna be for your edges and stuff. We do not wanna bend these really, because it will eventually crack or just stop working altogether. And we can't really cut these to length. So there are other ones on our website that doesn't come with this hard case that you can bend around. So if you wanted to maybe kind of go with the curves of the camper shell just by going on the sides like this, or even if you just wanted to completely go all the way around it just with one single strip, we do have 17 and 16 foot ones that aren't in a case, and they do have a little bit of backing on them that's going to allow it to stick, but it's not really the best. But we can show you right now. If you see right here, that's what they look like. So we actually took a 17-foot strip and we actually were able to cut it too. So we bought one thing, cut it, and now we actually have some on all three of our sides. So let me disconnect these and show you. These are going to be blue, but they do come in white as well. But just to give you an idea what we can do with one roll, we'll show you. So these are the blue ones, and it is putting a lot of light in here, but that's with 3 different strips. If this was all white strips, it would be extremely bright on the inside of here. The reason why we went with blue in this specific situation, the customer does a lot of hunting and stuff, and your eyes will adjust to the blue a little bit easier. So depending on your application, you can pick your color, but the white is definitely going to help you find stuff a lot more. It's going to be like the normal light you see. With the blue, it illuminates it, but it's easier on your eyes if you're in darker situations, if you're hunting or something like that. The hard case LED strip does not come in blue, but if you don't mind getting the soft strips, I wanted to show you the difference between white and blue, just so you know. So if you are deciding between the two, you can figure out which one you think you like better. So here's the blue, and here's the white. After installing these, I do really have an idea of what would really work for you guys. So if you have a camper shell, even if it's an 8-foot bed, I really do think that the 47.5s are going to be plenty to light it up. If you wanted it to be maybe a little bit longer, the 60 inches is going to be a little bit bigger, but I think that extra little foot is going to be a little bit of overkill, because just with one side on a 6.5-foot bed with a 47.5-inch long strip, I basically can see everything I want, but I want it to be kind of universal, meaning symmetrical. So I want to have a light on this side if I have a light on that side. So if you do have a camper shell like this, I think anything just having one on each side, 47.5 and up, is definitely going to be okay. If you really don't need the whole entire place to be completely illuminated like this, some of the smaller ones, even if you just put one of the 11 inches here and another one back here, that'll do good. If you do have a tonneau cover, you could do the longer ones, but just note, I don't think you're gonna grab one that's too small and it's not gonna give you enough light. There's so much light coming off of this. Hopefully it shows up in the video, but I think you'll be good. Just depends on what kind of style and look you're going for. I really do like the casing on these. If you have a spot for them, it's gonna look the cleanest, I think. And comparing these to the soft little rolls of LED strips that you can get, a lot of those are just they just have a little sticky part on the back, and usually that isn't the best. So if you go to your local hardware store, just use some of the glue that you can get there to install the normal strips. But if I were to put something in the bed of my truck, I would definitely go with this. It looks a lot better and it feels a lot more durable.
And that'll do it for a look at the TecNiq Premium Slim LED strips.